how's it going? Alright, now in my last video you would have seen that I managed to get my hands on a Neo Geo NVS motherboard. Now I'm going to look at consolizing this motherboard, as a few of you have guessed, but that's not what this particular video is about. I'm going to come back to this and do this a little bit later. What I wanted to talk about was consolizing these motherboards is kind of a done thing. If you do a bit of homework, you'll find consolized NVSs everywhere. But what happens when you want to consolize a different motherboard? Like, say I want to play a game that's not a Neo Geo game. It becomes a little bit of a tricky situation, because what a lot of guys do is they end up buying what's called a super gun. Now, a super gun is a little wee circuit board that plugs onto our Jamma connector here, and it converts the video signal into composite or S-video, or for European users you can get ones that convert it to RGB, or basically something that your TV can use, because these motherboards are designed to hook to arcade monitors, which is, well, arcade monitors run under different kilohertz than what regular monitors do, or TVs do. And it also gives you a breakout for your sound and your controllers and things like that. Now, with different motherboards, basically size becomes a bit of an issue, static becomes a bit of an issue, portability. I mean, what most guys do with super guns that I've seen is they basically get themselves a nice flat board, they sit the motherboard on it, and they have the super gun just, you know, attaching to the end of it. And they also got their power supply and everything attached. But the problem I had with that is that, I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing it that way, but the problem I had with it was that basically I couldn't loan a friend that, or I couldn't you know, go around to a friend's house and have this motherboard sitting there on the carpet. You know, it's you don't want to damage them, because some of these are getting quite hard to find. But as I say, size is a bit of an issue. Now, to give you a bit of an example, I'll show you a couple of things. So I'll just slide this out of the way. Okay, so yeah, to give you a bit of an example, this is side pocket. Now, when I was a boy, I used to, one of the arcade games I used to play was Pocket Gal, and basically Pocket Gal became Side Pocket. The Side Pocket is a home version of it, and Pocket Gal has a little bit of, well, a little bit of cartoon nudity and things like that in it, so it was toned down for the home market. And this here, let's get this out of the way, this is a Side Pocket cartridge, okay? So, using something like this in a home console, you know, easy as. It's nice plastic housing, it's pretty durable, you chuck it around, and, well, you know, I'd recommend you don't, but you know what I mean. It's basically, if you had to loan this to a friend, you could. If you had to take it with you on the road, you could. So that's all well and good, but if I want to play the original Pocket Gal, I'll just pop that out of the way. This is Pocket Gal. Now this here is huge. To give you an idea of scale, now you can see straight away what I mean about these aren't exactly the sort of thing that you want to wander around with, and it certainly isn't going to stack neatly on the shelf. I mean, these are massive. In fact, see if I can't zoom out just a little bit here, just so I can get the whole thing in. There you go. So these boards are big. And like I say, you can imagine that if you had this sitting on a nicely painted or whatever, a nice little plank of wood, you've still got a lot of exposed components. And as I say, the sizing between all of these is always that bit different. So this is Pocket Gal. I'll pop that out of the way. You want to see Bad Dudes versus Dragon Ninja, which is this board. And, wait for it, it's double-sided. So this thing is just massive. Now, if you want to make these for use at home, I suppose what you could do is you could try and make up giant cartridges for them all to protect them. But, you know, that's going to be a lot of work. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to make it so I could play the real arcade motherboard at home in a nice, safe fashion, and if I wanted to cart it around, I could. Now a lot of you might be thinking at this stage, why bother? These things are huge, you know, why not just use MAME? And that's what a lot of people do for arcade games in particular, is MAME is one of the first things that come to mind. And look, I absolutely, you guys have seen my arcade room, I have no issue at all whatsoever with MAME, but with anyone who collects games, you will know that as good as emulation is, and it's certainly a lot more convenient than the real thing, it's just not as good as the real thing. There's something magic, it's hard to explain, but there's something magic about playing on the real hardware, playing on the real game, you know? So going along with that, basically what I've done is I've come up with a bit of a solution. Like I say, I wanted something a bit protective, so I'll just grab something and I'll show you. Okay, so what I decided to do to store my motherboards is I'd get these, you know, these plastic containers that you've probably all seen, and basically you can wrap the motherboards up in bubble wrap and then, you know, store them in it. But it occurred to me, why don't I make it so one of these can actually play the games, because that way it's protected. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab the camera and I'm going to show you around a little bit. Alright, so what I've done is I've just got one of these plastic tubs here, and I've mounted an LED and a joystick port on basically either side of it. Now this container, you know, it's going to look massive on screen, but it's not actually as big as you'd think. But I'll just scoot around the back here. On the back I've mounted my left and right audio, composite, S-video. I've got a nice little grill here because my power supply is built inside. I've got my IEC power supply socket here and my on-off switch. So nice and easy. And basically if I pop the lid off, inside you'll see that I've got a nice high gloss perspex tray, so it looks appealing. Actually almost looks as if it's filled like some kind of liquid here. And I've got my Jamma harness here. And underneath it, because this just lifts out, you can see what's inside. So I've got a power supply in there, a standard PC power supply, which is connected up to my super gun, and you can see I've extended the Jamma harness out through. So there's not a lot in there, and what I've done is I've wired up some joystick ports so that they're compatible with Neo Geo sticks. Now with the Neo Geo sticks you only get 4 buttons, but basically with this is more of an idea for you guys if you wanted to do something like this. You can go and build your own, and you could wire up your own controllers. It's certainly easy to do. And if any guys out there, if you're thinking about using your arcade stuff at home, let me know. I can give you some pointers. But so there you go. So it's basically this little tub, and you can see that it's that nice sort of rubbery sort of a plastic, so it's very, very durable. It can take all the knocks. And what we'll do is, how well this is going to work with one hand. Basically, we can sit our motherboard in there. This has got a little bit caught up. Okay, so there we go, that's plugged in. And you can see there's still a little bit of clearance in here, so that's going to allow a bit of airflow. But also what you can do is, if you're going around to a friend's house and you wanted to take your arcade machine with you, you could just chuck a little bit of bubble wrap in there and set your other motherboard in, and then pop the lid on. And there you go, that is ready to take around to a friend's house. So you can see where I'm going with this anyway, but what I'll do is I'll show you how it works. So I'll just put the camera down for a second and get this shifted. Okay, so you can see here in all its box-like glory. Now, you've got to use your imagination a little bit here. I mean, this has got a recess in it, so I can soon add some nice artwork in it if I want to. I mean, it's not entirely finished. I still have to hook up the second controller port and do a few little things like that, but this is to give you an idea of well, basically a more practical way of consolizing arcade motherboards anyway. Like I said to you, you can store some motherboards up on the top here if you want for transportation. You could even put your controller in. And you can see here I've got one of the Neo Geo sticks here. And as I was saying too, I've wired this up to be Neo Geo compatible. It's definitely going along the lines of something that's very, well, console-ish. I was thinking of like your Sega Genesis and your Super Nintendo, where basically you buy this machine, you can go on eBay, buy some controllers for it, and away it goes. So basically what I'll do now is I'll turn this on for you to show you. So I've got my power cord in the back there, I've got my left and right audio. I'm not going to use composite at the moment, and I've also got my S-Video hooked up. So all I need to do is flick the switch. And there we go. That is one real life arcade motherboard game working. And what I've done with these, the only change I've made from the Neo Geo standard is I've made the select button the insert coin. So if I hit select, it inserts some coins, and if I hit start, there we go. And unfortunately playing with one hand is very difficult. So yeah, there you go guys, that is one way of consolizing arcade motherboards. As I was saying, a lot of guys, they prefer the, you know, just the flat board sort of approach. But this here, to me, it's attractive, it's certainly well protected, and it's, you know, it's easy to use. So basically what I'll do is I can change that over, turn it off. And there we go. And if I wanted to use a different board, so you can see what I mean about the different size and boards here, like the Neo Geo. Like I say, I'm going to consolize this separately, but the height of it, you know, very, very hard to try and come up with an idea on what to do here, but so basically just a matter of popping that on and then getting a cartridge, and away we go. Okay, so I've got our Neo Geo cartridge in, and there we go. So you can see with this that basically I could set a drink on here, I could use this to rest the controller on if I was playing, I could put my feet up on it, or I could even sit back a bit. And to be honest, it looks like any other case that you'd store your motherboards in. So anyway guys, I certainly hope you like this, and I'm putting this up more as a, well, an idea for guys to go on if you looking for a little bit of inspiration on what to do. So I hope you like it, and please, if you've got any questions or any comments, just leave them below, and as always guys, thanks very much for watching. We'll see you again soon.